Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Scott Harris. It's my privilege to lead the Case IH business here in North America. On behalf of everyone here at Case IH, thank you for joining us. We're so excited to be here with you live today, and we've got a lot to share. Built for 2021. That's the theme of today's event. We know very well that to succeed in today's environment, we have to look at every aspect of your operation. At Case IH, our mission is to optimize the productivity of the men and women who we believe work in the most noble profession on the planet, the North American farmer. We get up every day and focus on the innovations, the equipment, and the processes that make farming and farmers more efficient, more productive, and more profitable. We understand firsthand the challenges that you face. The fact is, from product design to manufacturing, sales and marketing, to product support in the field and through our outstanding dealer network, we are built by farmers. And we're constantly building for tomorrow. The Case IH brand is unlike others you know. You've said we're the approachable, straightforward, no-nonsense brand that builds some of the best equipment in the industry, and we agree. And we're supported by an exceptional dealer network with boots on the ground support to ensure that you're getting peak performance from Case IH equipment and bottom line performance in your operation. In the end, it's about the people behind the brand and the service, support, and sales at your local Case IH dealership that make a difference for you. It's no secret Case IH makes exceptional iron. It's what we've been doing for 175 years. No matter what or how you farm, you need horsepower to do the heavy work and agronomically superior solutions to till the soil, to plant and feed, and ultimately harvest the crop. Today, we're making incredible progress on the pivot from horsepower to the power of technology. Technology is changing the way we farm. The digitization of agriculture is here. And we're moving faster than ever as we bolster our investments in precision technology and connected fleets and new farm management software with machine automation and more. Over the next hour, you'll see how the full suite of Case IH equipment works together to deliver efficiencies that can make a big difference on your farm. From tractors and combines to planters, seeders, and sprayers, and our full line of hay tools and tillage equipment. Every solution is agronomically designed with you and your operation in mind. So let's get this show on the road. Next, I'm pleased to welcome a man who needs no introduction to this audience, Max Armstrong. He'll serve as our MC of today's event. Max?
Scott.
Good to see you, Max.
Appreciate it, Scott. Thank you.
Have a great show.
Thank you very much. He got you warmed up, folks. Good afternoon, everyone. What a pleasure to be here with you today and to talk a bit about some of the exciting things coming along from Case IH. It's an action-packed hour, so stay with us right here to see what's going to be happening. Starting with a look at the multi-season lineup and the Case IH Farm All tractors. And we'll get a report from one of your favorite YouTubers. This is going to be real interesting to see how tech and data are helping in this operation, helping them work more efficiently. You'll recognize them. We'll bring experts on stage here too to see some of the latest technology from Case IH and to share tips to help make sure your planting season is as productive as possible. It's coming up quickly. And we'll hear a producer story a little bit later on. Out of all of these stories of resilience and resourcefulness out in rural America over the past few months, this is one that I think you'll remember. With that, let's dive into the lineup. Oh, and something that's near and dear to my heart, the Farmall tractor. Most everyone knows my passion for the Farmall Series tractors. You know, the heritage of the Farmall tractor goes all the way back to 1923. Yeah, there's a big anniversary coming up in a couple of years. 1923, that was when the first Farmall was built, and indeed it forever changed the way America works. Since the beginning, Farmall tractors have been helping producers everywhere get the job done day in and day out. My father was an example of that. He bought his about 30 years after the first one came off the line. It was a Super H that, of course, I still cherish very much. And over the years, that Farmall design, as you see the progression, has evolved to continue to meet producers' changing needs. Still today, more than ever, Farmall tractors are hardworking, they are reliable, and they're packed with power. The lineup continues to expand to offer a model to fit any operator and any operation. Case IH recently launched 3 new models in the Utility A lineup. There's the 95A, the 105A, and the 115A. And today's producers need a reliable tractor that's ready for a hard day's work, and yet it's offered at an excellent value. These new feature-loaded models provide just that, and they also meet the demands for the toughest chores that you'll have around the farm. Plus, that same cutting-edge, fuel-efficient technology is right there. It's available across all of the lineup of Farmall tractors. It's amazing indeed to see how these tractors have evolved over the years. And yes, indeed, you can demo one today. Sure you can. Contact your local Case IH dealer to do that. Now, stay tuned for a look into the new AFS Connect technology.
Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, whenever you want. In your life and on your farm, Case IH AFS Connect gives you more control. Monitor your operation, manage your fleet and your farm data your way. Case IH, rethink productivity.
Well, I'm joined on stage now by Leo Bose and Kirk Wesley. Data, of course, is changing the way you producers work and the way you run your operations. And Leo and Kirk will offer a look into the latest AFS Connect technology, and they'll show how you can have all of that data you need, all of that data that's so important, that other crop that I often call that's coming out of the fields right there at your fingertips.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Max. Great to see you live in person and safe today, right?
Thank you, sir.
Great. Well, good afternoon. I'm Leo Bose.
And I'm Kirk Wesley. Today we're excited to share with you a little bit about AFS Connect.
You know, Kirk, since 1994, we've been taking advanced farming systems, or what we call AFS, to that next level. And it's been input from you, the producer, that's provided us this journey, which we made here today. Whether it's planting, harvesting, or growing season, you now have a tool that's powered to make the decisions on the fly when you need to. This will help you increase not only that operation's efficiency, but overall productivity. And it all starts with AFS Connect. AFS Connect is a platform that we use to connect not only the data from the vehicle, but also that data to make recommendations or changes within the field. Let's take a closer look into an AFS Connect farm.
You're exactly right, Leo. Shortly, I'll be using my tablet to demonstrate the AFS Connect portal. Staying connected with your data and farming operation is important. Desktop PC, tablet, or even the smartphone are the options today that you can utilize. The recently updated AFS Connect mobile app is available on the Apple App Store or in the Google Play Store to download right now. As long as you've got connectivity through Wi-Fi or cell phone connection, you've got your farm with you in your office, on your tablet, or even in your back pocket.
So right here on my hand, right? So that's right, Kirk. Today we're actually going to look into some data from our friends over at Welker Farms. Let's take a closer look.
Hey everyone, my name is Nick Welker. I'm a fourth generation farmer from north central Montana. We run around 10,000 acres and grow crops such as spring wheat, winter wheat, yellow peas, and now we're going to get into probably some barley as well as possibly some oilseed crops. Data management has been a big thing that's been growing in the agricultural realm. On our farm, it's been a slow transition because in this area, it's a dry climate and it takes a lot of acres and a couple good years to hopefully bring in new equipment, new technology that can offer the data management that we're now seeing. But fortunately, we're just getting into it. And last year was the first year that we had combines capable of transmitting data directly to the cloud through the AFS Connect portal, where we were able to come back afterwards and take a look and see really what was happening on the farm. And I'll tell you, there were some surprises, some things that we kind of knew were happening, but when you actually see the data, it was actually pretty stomach turning. So I'm gonna go ahead and take you guys into a closer look on last year's harvest data in our farm operation through the AFS Connect portal and show you kind of some of the thoughts that we have, as well as a possible game plan on how we're gonna tackle 2021 season to hopefully prevent the mistakes that were made in 2020. So let's go take a look. Come on with me. All right, here we are. So this is Welker Farms from the air. As you can see, we've got a lot of different colors, different fields. We've got some chickpeas, some spring wheat, some unallocated land, winter wheat. This is actually 2020's crop. So this is last year, that's what we're gonna be focusing on. So I wanna take you guys and show you quickly here one issue that we definitely saw by pulling up this yield data. So let's go ahead and bring up all the yield data from these crops. I'm gonna zoom out. I'm gonna head over to this field in the corner over here. Here we go. All right, so blue being high yielding, green being good, yellow being bad, red being really bad. Looking at this field, from the initial thought, we knew immediately what happened. It's kind of heart-wrenching to see this, but this field here, we fallowed. We sprayed it out, chemical fallow, and it's a practice that we've been doing up here in Montana for a number of years. We're slowly phasing it out, but I'll show you one of the downfalls of it. The wind blows left to right across here. This is west, this is east. And as the wind's blowing, as you can imagine, well, spray tends to drift. And even though we tried to do our best to spray in low wind conditions, I believe the chemical volatilized and drifted over during the night. And as you can see, it decimated probably a quarter of this field. Maybe a fifth of it, but still, we had yields of 40 to 50 bushel over here. Over here, it was down in the teens. Now let's go ahead and move on down to these fields. These are narrower strips, and as you can see, same thing. Look at that. So we chem followed in between these, and look at the damage that was done. Isn't that sickening? Every edge of these fields just decimated. This is something that we've been struggling with for a number of years, and it's very apparent when you pull up the data. So that is an issue that we are going to try to tackle differently this year. Now, another takeaway we can do from this information is looking at the quality of land. Some of this is not due to chemical damage. Some of this is due to just the quality of soil. This area is real high in alkaline and shale. You can see the crop just had a hard time growing there. Same with over here. See the outcropping, the shale here? Well, a lot of this is a result of that. Like up here, look at this, see that whole area? Well, you can tell it's just not gonna grow very good yields here. There's just not topsoil. So we can adjust our prescription plan for our fertilizer and seed rate to represent this area, as there's no reason to be dumping a lot of fertilizer into this ground. We might as well be utilizing it in the higher quality soils, such as up here. All right, another thing real quick, let's zoom in right here. I wanna show you another spray issue. So, as you can see, we've got some red right here in the middle. Well, this is a two-track road going through the field. Really, we run this as one field, so we plant all the way from end to end. But the two-track road has become quite a ditch to drive across. So what ends up happening is, rather than hitting your head in the ceiling when you cross it, you slow down with the sprayer. Well, our sprayer technology is not as good as the new stuff, and so what ends up happening is the rate of spray that's being applied here changes as I go across it. Well, look at the damage that takes place in the crop. It's being over-applicated, maybe possibly under-applicated. Either way, damage is taking place just by speeding up and slowing down the sprayer. So definitely a lot of information that can come from this. Well, there you have it. As you can see, there was definitely some mistakes made. Our chemical operation needs to be improved. We're hopefully going to cut back on our chem fallow acres. I think that'll help a lot, as well as do some more cropping. This year, we're going to bring in more acres than we've ever had, which means a lot more work, but our equipment is going to be capable now across the board to log the data and put it into the AFS Connect portal. And then that way we will be able to go back and manage and take a look and see if we can improve on those areas that we were lacking in. I hope you guys enjoyed that little look into Welker Farms data management. There's a lot more there that we're getting into, but it's exciting times and we hope to improve on it. So thank you for watching.
Wow, some powerful words from Nick Welker. You know, a picture is worth 1,000 words of that image. So to have him walk us through that, you know, at Case IH, we have the partnership with Welker Farms. And Nick Welker has actually granted us permission to dive a little deeper into their operation. So, hey, Kirk, why don't we take a closer look?
Absolutely. We've got it queued up right here. We've got their entire farming operation, Leo, and we can see that right now. We've got a satellite image in the background. We can also turn that off and see some of his, or all their fields on their farming operation very simply right on this map.
So there we are in Shelby, Montana, and that, if we zoomed out a little bit, we're close. Yep. So
got some right
there's
there.
the city of Shelby. If we zoom out, we're almost close to the Canadian border,
Yeah,
right?
let's
So
go
look
all
at
the way out
Montana.
here, and we'll give everybody kind of an idea of where they're sitting, right up there next to the border. And then we can zoom, well, I hit the wrong button there.
There you
So
go.
that zoomed in right to where we're standing right now on that top button. So, but we're back right here in the farm out in Montana.
So when you look at their operation, look at their 10,000 plus acre farm, so I can easily, quickly see that operation, right?
That's absolutely right. So we can go in and see what's going on. We can click on a field, and what do you see right there, Leo? We've got an info box that opened up.
Well, it looks like it's getting a little warmer out there. I think Nick's probably ready for some seeding, but 40 degrees, right? Is that what I'm reading there?
Yeah, you got 40 degrees, and this is field by field. So as we move across this landscape here of their farming operation, each field will have a slightly different rainfall event, growing degree days based on when we plant that seed. We're looking at the 2021 data right now. Here, let's go out and we'll look at some of the weather that's happened up there and some of the statistics. Since January, they've received 1.21 inches of rain on that field, and we can see every single rain event that's occurred out there.
Well, I can see Nick really wants to have some more rain, right? Because if I remember right, Montana's about 12 inches of rain on an average, right?
You're exactly right, and some of that is in the snow and recharging the soil. You heard Nick reference fallow, and the fallow is setting a field aside, no crops, keeping the crop and the growing any type of weeds or anything off of that, in the hopes that you can store as much water as possible into that to grow a crop once every 2 years.
So that weather data is fed in, and I can get an email alert, correct, when a weather event happens?
That's absolutely right. So what you can do is you can go in and set it up to notify you and have every single field report in. And that becomes fairly important in harvest time. Maybe not in Nick's climate where they're on the drier side most of the time, but maybe you get into more of the Midwest and something like that, where what you've got are conditions that change on some of these farming operations because you're spread maybe 40, 50 miles apart. So overnight, we know we had rain in an area, the rain comes through. The farmer needs to know what fields that he needs to send his equipment to. And I'm aware from being a consultant for 20 years, Leo, and an agronomist, that some of these farming operations get up very early in the morning just to find where the rainfall events occurred so that they can stage their day accordingly and get things going. Now all they have to do is check their email and they know exactly what's going on.
So Kirk, then this is, and I look at the boundaries that are around on these various fields that are there, you know, can you walk me through, and I look at that bounded acres, right? So we're looking at that specific field, correct?
That's exactly right. So this field here, this is the boundaries that Nick and their farming operations set up. Those are very important in AFS Connect, Leo. The boundaries are the area that all the information will reside in. We know the extents of the longitude and latitude so that as a machine is working in the field, as a consultant is maybe scouting it, as somebody is out there maybe taking soil tests, that boundary, when that data comes, has a longitude and latitude that it will automatically place that right into that field. So we don't have to worry about maybe mixing up or forgetting to switch between two fields. I drive 10 miles down the road, I don't change that field, and now I go in. In the old days, you'd look at a map and you'd have two separate pieces of data zoomed out. Now what happens is the data and the longitude is collected on the machine, sent to the modem on the machine, through the cellular network, hits the AFS Connect cloud, and it automatically is geospatially set in the proper field boundary and location. So this geospatial sorting is what we call it, is a very powerful tool inside of AFS Connect.
So maybe a question there and a follow-up would be, so maybe I have a mixed fleet that's running. So you walk me through automatically uploading that information. How do I ingest or visualize other data maybe that I see on the farm?
Yeah, that's a great question, because we do. In agriculture, we've used many different types of displays and farming systems, FMIS software, a lot of times we would call that. What happens with that is we can go in and there's a plus sign that I'm going to hit on the menu here. It's going to open up a box, and where we're going to pay some attention to is upload data. And I'm going to go and choose this third-party data. And from this box is where I would navigate to any data that I may have collected in the past 20, 25 years of working with this type of technology. The supported formats is something that you can look through to confirm. You can see across the top there the seeding, application, and yield. And we just go through. Ag Leader is near and dear to my heart. That was the very first yield monitor back in 1994 that I worked with that type of data. And you can see all of Ag Leader's products and software there. We can support all that. And as I scroll through this, the audience can get kind of an idea, including our Case IH, including the Trimble systems and displays that we've used inside of our product offering. And Nick kind of uses some of these, so he is interested in this Trimble to ingest that data in. But as I go through, you can start to see and get a real good idea that 90 to 95% of all of the displays and software that have been used in agriculture is supported by AFS Connect, allowing us to bring all of that information into one location to utilize.
So pretty powerful when I look at historical data, right? So I can bring that in, and we're in this, if I look at this field, I think we're calling this the Sharps field, right?
Yep, this is the Sharps 1 field on Welker's farm, and what we can do is click on the information. So the audience may have seen that I switched between years there from 2021. There was no data there, obviously. We're staging that year. So we went back 1 year to 2020, and that's what you see on the left there. So we've got some spring wheat, his seeding map, which is just a coverage map of what's going on. But there is an important one I rolled out here. Let's get back to our Sharps field. There we go. So we got the Sharps field here, and the soil type map is something we want to talk about. In the United States, the soil type map is automatically loaded when a field boundary is uploaded to AFS Connect. Once we get there, we can see exactly how that soil type is laid out, and that comes from the USDA and the Surgo database, and it's automatically brought in so that we can utilize that. So let me show you how we might use some of that. We've got Nick's yield data, and you can see now I've got two layers active. I've got the soil type on the bottom, and I've got the yield data on the top of it. So let's kind of get that a little bit better so we can see it. And then I can kind of minimize that top layer, which is yield map. And if you see, it's transparent, and I can see through that, and I can kind of compare. And again, geospatially, it's very important. Where is that soil type in relation with each of the maps? A lot of times you can see them, or you lay two maps side by side, but you don't exactly know where a lot of that data may sit. So this is a very powerful tool.
That was a big one, because Nick kind of talked about that, right?
Yes, he did.
Where those areas were yield right performing and maybe yield underperforming, right?
Yeah, exactly. Now, another powerful tool that we've got, Leo, is here's our map. Maybe I just finished harvesting that, and we've been talking with our agronomist on his farming operation, being Nick there. And he said, hey, when you get that harvested, could you send that to me as soon as you get it? Because I want to know what's going on, and I think I know that there's an issue in a certain area. What we can do, right from the cab of the vehicle, is we can choose the three dots off to the right and hit this PDF. This is a report, a layer report, and this can be done with any of these maps, so that I can attach that to an email right from the cab of the vehicle, and I can send that directly out to Nick or to the agronomist and start to have that conversation when both of us are looking at the same data set.
So pretty easy. I saw you just clicked one, and I could do that to any field, and I could email that out really easy, simple,
That's exactly right.
I also noticed in that field you had a little leaf in there. What's that about?
Yeah, so let's turn that off. So what we did, or we set up, and Nick had some scouting done out there. And what we can do is click on that leaf, and it'll bring up the scouting report. And this particular scouting report is based on a problem that's out there in Montana, which is with the wheat streak mosaic virus. And what we did is we went out and took a picture of what they witnessed and saw on the ground out there, captured some notes. We have the longitude and latitude of exactly where that picture was taken at. And there's not much you can do other than manage there is no insecticide for the insect that carries this to the different fields, these mites. So the best way to work with it is just with your neighbor and kind of reduce the spread with the rotation and minimizing what's going on and getting these fields too close together.
So you're saying it's pretty simple. Cell phone, take a picture, gives me that lot and latitude, and I can push it right into AFS Connect.
That's exactly right. That mobile app that we were talking about earlier is available there, and it's got the power to go in, and you can actually snap that picture, and it's cataloged inside of AFS Connect for you.
So one last thing, maybe before we go to show how I can actually download this today. There looks like you got a tractor and a combine up there.
Yeah,
That's
you're
the
looking
fleet.
right up there on that top menu. So I'll click on that tractor and combine. What this is going to do is open up a couple of machines that are on their farming operation. Everybody will note those are combines. They haven't been used since last fall, but you get the idea that when we look at these, if they were operating, we would have the current fuel levels, the current DEF levels, it would be on, it would show the speed, the fuel consumption, all that type of information would be readily available. But these have been off since September up in that operation, so there's not a lot of interesting data to look at right now.
See, they got interesting names, Clifford and B-Spine, right?
They're a little creative up there, yes.
So when you look at it, though, for a producer out there today, how can I take advantage of this today, right? How do I sign up? How do I experience AFS Connect Farm?
Yep, absolutely. So what we can do is we can get in and go down and open up the AFS. This is the mycaseih.com portal. Again, mycaseih.com. You can see then there's a create account button. This is something that anybody that is watching today is able to do. They can create their own AFS Connect account. This is a fully unlocked account that you can get into, and maybe you've got some data of your own that you'd like to kind of give this a test drive before you actually get real deep into it. We make that available to you before you even buy a machine or do any business with us. You can get in and actually experience what we're looking at today. So if I would click that create account button, Leo, this is the page it opens up. Away they go. They've got all their information right there to experience.
Looks like it's pretty easy. User information, so first, last name, email, country, company information, and you're pretty much done, right?
Well, and you create your account that is yours. The data and everything is controlled by the end user. If you put data in there, that's yours to control, and you can take it out, you can put it in, whatever you want to. It's your data.
Wow, pretty powerful tool when you look at AFS Connect Farm, and that was just a quick tour of really that platform and what you can use for increasing efficiency and productivity of your operation. And remember, it's no cost. Go in there today, set it up, it's safe and secure, and you can actually look at that weather information and actually bring that data in from your operation and visualize it right this afternoon. So with that, we appreciate that time, and thank you.
Thanks to Leo and Kirk for a great presentation there. All across the country, as we speak, many of you right this very moment are putting the finishing touches on planting preparation, getting ready for that planting season ahead. And now that we have that in-depth look at AFS Connect, let's dive into the planter and the tillage technology.
This is a seed bag. This bag is made of craft paper with a cellophane liner and provides nothing for seed growth. This is a seed bed. It was prepared with Case IH soil management tools. It optimizes everything from nutrient access to water infiltration to create the perfect environment for early, uniform emergence. Get to know why your seedbed drives productivity at caseih.com/soil management.
Joining us on stage right now is Chris Lurson, Tillage Marketing Manager at Case IH. Chris, come on up here. You're a fantastic resource. I know that I've used on so many different occasions for agronomic research and the production line up at Case IH. And you're working out of the year round. You're also a farmer, I should hasten to point out. You've heard that announcer say, built by farmers for farmers. And I want to talk with you a little bit about ensuring a successful and productive spring of 2021. With the planting season just ahead, coming up so fast, give us an idea of the trends that you're seeing and what is being seen here in terms of planter technology that we ought to know.
Yeah, it's a pleasure sharing the stage with you, Max, as always. I love being here with you. And at Case IH, it's really important, to note that with all the new technologies that we've talked about today and will over the next a little bit here with me, those fundamental pieces of a planting operation are really still the key. Early, even emergence and precise seed spacing, of course, are keys to getting the crop off to a good start and setting the stage for higher yields. And of course, this is achieved through moving and cutting the residue, right? Opening an uncompacted seed trench, right, that minimizes the soil profile or moisture disturbance of that whole soil profile. A clean seed trench, and then being able to precisely place that seed both in a spacing standpoint and depth. And then you got to zip up that trench, right, and put that moist soil that was stored alongside the trench back on top. And really making sure that we place and give good seed to soil contact around that seed so we can have that even emergence that we're all looking for. And of course, having that capability then of that planter, if in your area you use on planter fertilizer system. So feeding that young seed is so important.
What does Case IH offer in terms of products and solutions to answer these trends? This is your opportunity. Give us that product lineup.
Yeah, you bet. So all those agronomic pieces of the puzzle are really kind of all matched into that early riser row unit, really built on those agronomic design principles to complement those fundamentals I talked about right out of the box. It incorporates the industry's most accurate planter technologies as well, with adjustable residue managers. I use this on our own planter. We'll be able to adjust those residue managers to get that residue out of the way, and even in fact, some cases, getting the residue managers up out of the way when you don't need them. That might be more important in some cases. Leading disc openers, where we're able to slice the residue versus pinning it in the seed trench. Reduced interdiameter gauge wheels that allow us, when we open that trench, the soil comes out and is placed right alongside of that trench in the same orientation that it came out, moist soil at the bottom. Of course, that firming or forming point at the bottom of that row unit allows us to clean that trench, place that seed in the correct depth every single time, and in the course inverse and adjustable closing disc systems that allow us to adjust and match the conditions that we're in to make sure that we can close that trench and then press it down with the rubber press wheel in the back that gives us that perfect seed to soil contact. The 2000 series row units and early riser planters are really known for delivering all those around low sidewall compaction, right? Ideal soil moisture next to the seed, and of course good seed to soil contact to all deliver better emergence timing and yield potential. There are a number of attachments in the marketplace to add to other planters out in the marketplace other than the early riser to kind of simulate the early riser systems. And if you are looking at those, and I can understand why you might be, remember that it's not just one component. It's the entire package, front to back, offset opener, closing disc, the firming, forming point, and the press wheel on the backside all help producers achieve faster, more uniform emergence. With all those fundamentals achieved, the technology is really brought in to improve and enhance the planting system on top of those fundamentals.
Well, let's dive down a little bit more into the technology, just what it is and how it is used, Chris.
Yeah, you have all those fundamentals, of course, and the onboard technology, of course, that I use on our own planter at home, our early riser, allows the operator to make quicker and easier adjustments to complement the agronomics needed. Understand seed placement immediately in the field. And the row unit ride performance, of course, is built into the planter. It's right there from the factory. Of course, more accurate Case IH AFS Connect mapping and recording systems now help provide us a better decision-making system and better data overall. You know, the Case IH system also allows for third-party control systems to be placed on it, right? Mapping and recording systems such as, Precision Planning's 2020, the Climate Field View systems, allows our farmers the ability to choose the system that they want on their early riser planter, not just add it on top. This delivers advanced technology such as turn compensation as well, right built in from the factory with our systems, that allows that precise, seed placement through corners and through really any type of undulating terrain. And of course, the prescription control has been built into the early riser planter, really since the early 2000s with the 1200 PT that we launched. So that's still there and is still a steadfast piece of the puzzle for the early riser planter for both seed and fertilizer. New technology from Case IH is also designed to complement all of that and help producers make more, better informed decisions, whether it's to speed up, to slow down, right, to make adjustments, to meet the agronomic needs of the field, and then also to keep those valuable record-keeping data like variety tracking for when we come back in combine and we know what varieties we've placed and where, and of course that prescription capability.
Where can the producer learn more, the announcer asks?
Yeah, sure. So there's a lot to go off of there and a lot more to learn. So, as growers and farmers, get their planters out of the shed, and in some cases might already be planting, Case IH has a really great YouTube playlist with plenty of preseason and in-season maintenance tips so you can make sure you hit the ground running. And if you are already running, some great operational videos to help you maybe get started, to switch over crop types, understand display operations from calibrations to population adjustments, prescription use, and everything in between. It's all available out there. And you can head to the Case IH YouTube channel to learn more and see all those videos, Max.
What are some of the other planting considerations we should have in mind going into this season just ahead of us?
Yeah, there's a number of them, but one in particular that we've talked about and have seen, I think many of the viewers have seen, is with the market conditions changing this year. Really, over the last 6 to 8 months, our market has really shifted and changed gears, right? With cash grains, and a lot of crop mix questions are swirling. We're not far away from a USDA report, of course, on what the planting intentions are going to be.
At the end of the month, and we've got that acreage battle underway right now.
Yeah, it is. It's really battling, and who knows, that the questions are swirling around the countryside trying to figure this out. And soybeans look to be maybe a benefactor of the higher prices and overall demand. Exports are really picking up, and acres look to be increasing for that crop in particular. And pushing yields higher are also needed to meet this demand that we've seen for that soybean crop. And one trend that we've seen across the industry is growers looking to plant earlier their soybean crop, sometimes before or at the same time as corn and other crop types they might be planting.
Yeah, and the yield benefit has been there the past couple of seasons, hasn't it?
You're right, Max. It has been, and people are seeing the benefit and looking to add growing degree days, really specifically to complement planting. And soybean planting earlier, we've seen from studies from North Carolina State, can help maximize that yield potential. They've shown actually at North Carolina State Extension, that late emerging soybeans can be costly with a potential loss of up to $140 an acre when soybeans are just 4 days behind in some cases. That taking advantage of those summer months when we can pull that time frame up and really help that soybean crop. There are several options, of course, to help plant sooner, plant faster. Obviously, planting faster is one of those options with your current planter or your planting setup that you have. New planters, of course, today with the say the 2150, 2140, the 2000 series planters have that capability of planting faster, moving yourself through the field faster to get more acres done. Or I've seen growers even in my area where have added additional planters to the lineup.
Well, what about adding a seeder to the operation? The drill, the opportunity there with maybe a little bit less expense?
You're right. Yeah, that's a really good suggestion, and that's something maybe to think about and consider where a drill or an air-type drill in the Precision Disc 500T is an option, where it's an effective way to get to the field earlier, add days, while your planting of corn really doesn't get delayed at all. You're still doing that. And you really can get in there with that Precision Disc 500T drill, offered now in a 15-inch spacing only if you like for the low real investment. really to plant soybeans earlier, and in fact, it does complement those no-till type operations that are putting soybeans in. So the Precision Disc 500T is a quick and efficient system that has a lot of the same high-tech options that you actually see in planters today. Section control is fully enabled and capable of it on it. In-cab row unit down pressure systems, capabilities for prescription control are also built into that machine. Plus some of the same agronomic design features that I talked about with the early riser planter earlier, with parallel links, variable down pressure systems, simple adjustments, easy to make, and really overall making it a very high efficiency, high productivity operation with that drill.
You mentioned speed a little bit earlier. We have to ask about that. Obviously, the grower wants to take advantage of that opportunity in the field to move along as quickly as possible, but help us out a little bit. Give us a better grasp of what is possible.
Sure, so speed, yeah, who doesn't have the need for speed when it comes to planting, and something we do get a lot of questions about where, how fast is too fast, how fast can I plant? And, the answer to that really can tie back to one thing, and that's the seed bed. And more particular, the seedbed floor, which is, when you look at a seedbed, when you're creating it, say with a field cultivator, you have two different areas, the surface and then the subsurface area of that field and that seedbed, and making sure that seedbed is smooth both on the surface and the bottom, really is important, for the planter to deal with. Even high-speed planters with all the technology have issues dealing with an uneven seedbed, we found. And we need to a way to understand what the quality is of that seedbed, really be able to correct issues before the planter ever gets there. That's really important thing. AFS Soil Command on our soil management tools really can provide that understanding and the information to improve your seedbed before the planter ever gets there, Max.
How often do you hear a producer talking about his or her labor challenge? I mean, time after time when I've been out on a farm, all types of farms, that subject comes up. Not everybody is blessed with that good, reliable retiree who's there before dawn and is the last one off the place, and he or she is going to be there every day.
You're right, and I've dealt with the same thing on our farm. And through our customer-driven product design process, where we go out to customers when we're looking to maybe develop a new product and ask customers really what your problems are. What do you have problems with today, so we can find ways to fix them? And the number one thing that comes back, really even in the last year or two, has been we have problems finding skilled operators, as you mentioned. With AFS Soil Command Control and seedbed tillage technology, those new features like seedbed sensing and the control really help us solve that and really help make and ultimately make good operators great operators, because the simple and easy feedback on the display, green, yellow light, red light type applications, and single button settings where we can just set it and the customer or the operator knows that the tool is set properly. With AFS Soil Command, producers can feel confident really that the job is done right. The new technology with AFS Connect as well that Leo and Kirk talked about just a moment ago with remote display viewing is really exciting, I think. We're really a benefactor from the technology being brought on with AFS Connect and the telematics systems, where you can see what the operator sees and help them fix issues, from you sitting back in your office, back at the farm, to help them make better adjustments and make that tool run exactly how you intend it to do, exactly how you intend to make it run. Data movement, of course, to the portal is also easy. So we now have the capabilities of tracking what happened in a field. So if an operator has done something wrong or the whole field's been done the way you expected it to be done. And really those record keeping gives you that peace of mind that the job was done right, Max.
Talk with us about agronomics, if you would, Chris. I mean, Case IH has such a great heritage in agronomic and addressing agronomic challenges.
Yeah, it has been. It's something I'm very proud of, that our agronomic laurels and our values stick with us every day. And one thing that we're bringing to the table here that helps complement the agronomics of our tools, because we have the ground engaging components that are doing the right things agronomically with clod sizing, and in some cases, we're removing compaction. And site specific prescription technology or tillage is the thing that's coming on now. Traditionally now, when growers are considering what soil management practices you're going to do in a field, right? You're kind of peanut butter spreading the same practice over the same field. It might be conventional tillage, minimum tillage, just in a vertical tillage operation, or just no-till, which is often seen out there. You know, Nick Welker, actually in your video earlier, talked about prescriptions for seed and chemical, which is really important to complement the field and soil conditions that they had. Well, soil management should be able to do that same thing. It's engaging the soil and should be managed in a variable manner as well. With AFS Soil Command Control technology, we're bringing site-specific tillage to soil management, so you can set the entire machine for individual field characteristics, things like soil type that Kirk and Leo talked about with AFS Connect, bringing in those soil maps, topography, areas that can wash out, we can now do things for, and residue really as a result of yield performance, because we know that residue and yield have a very, very close correlation.
Prescription tillage. I love that. By what's going on right in that specific part of the field, adjusting the tool.
It's pretty incredible, isn't it? It really opens a lot of new doors, Max, and different ways of thinking about soil management, where some of the areas of the fields I mentioned might need to be no-tilled, right? Just because of topography. And you know, that system or this system can now do just that. We can set the tool at 0 depth, right? In that case, I've seen, like with our vertical tillage tools, you know, the crumbler on the rear attachment of the machine still actually engages the ground. It's not moving soil, it's just laying residue over. And in fact, we've seen where it's increased the amount of residue cover in a field because it's broken and bent over residue and provided more protection for that field. Other areas where they might need fertilizer incorporation, you know, prevent stratification and maybe prevent runoff of phosphorus or potassium, you know, we're able to set the tool for that more conventional type application or somewhere in the middle. It doesn't really matter. Normal or deeper depths can be set, obviously, as I mentioned, for automatic adjustment.
The days of dumb iron are behind us. You've brought intelligence to tillage.
Yes, we have. We've really brought that along and hopefully improving the efficiencies of our farms. You know, even systems that give us that instant feedback in the cab has been really important to us. You've been doing this on planters for years now, just in basic population monitoring. Well, now we're going to have that instant feedback that gives us better agronomic decisions, as I pointed out earlier, and it can really affect our bottom lines, and we've begun to prove that. You know, we've found that just if you can get just 2 more bushels an acre, it doesn't sound like much with corn, but it's 2 bushels an acre because of a better seed bed, the whole system pays for itself in less than a year. So, you know, that's really impressive.
That is a good return, a quick return. Talk with me about efficiency here.
So efficiency, of course, is all about uptime and doing the right job. You know, ultimately, if we have a soil command, we're looking to help producers fix really 1 acre issues before they become thousands of acre issues. You don't want that to happen. Seedbed sensing, the control technology, a prescription really complements that whole mission. With the ability to monitor and record tillage practice or passes, like Leo and Kirk referenced earlier with AFS Connect, we can map those pieces, you know, for future analysis. This technology will help you find field issues that might impact yields really down the road and tackle the root cause of that issue, you know, so we don't make the same mistake twice. You don't want to do that in farming. Let's not make that same mistake twice.
Always interested in learning about the agronomics and the research that goes into this equipment, and I know you are in the field constantly. Give us a feel for some of that research you've been conducting out there.
Yeah. So all of our tools, especially in soil management and planting, go through a very rigorous agronomic evaluation. You know, we have teams of agronomists who are in the field really year-round, or as much as they possibly can when the conditions allow, testing and evaluating Case IH equipment, you know, in range of conditions, and making and conducting research that helps us deliver equipment really worthy of that agronomic design badge. In fact, right now they're in South Texas. I talked to Dr. Allison Bryan, our agronomist here, and taking a couple days ago, just taking advantage of that early season planting.
You had to wait for the snow to get out of there.
Yeah, there's some snow we had to wait for, and hopefully everyone in Texas is doing okay there. But certainly getting a jump on that research today. Dr. Allison Bryan, our soil management agronomist, recently actually completed some research trials on seedbed sensing on the Tiger May 255 and its effects on planter row unit ride and eventually yield. They researched, you know, a full field, full 50 acres actually of corn planted, you know, not just small strips like in seed corn plots you might see in the fall, but, you know, farmed it similar to what any farmer might do, what I might do, right? I'm going to go in and field cultivate the whole field, and, you know, field cultivate in this case, soybean stubble, wasn't touched in the fall. And they field cultivated the whole farm at 9 miles an hour and recorded the seedbed quality, then came back and planted it with a high-speed early riser 2150 planter, also at 9. Almost like anybody would plant a field. There's no different.
9 miles an hour, 9 miles an hour. What did they determine from that research?
Yeah, so we found that there is a direct correlation between the seedbed floor and the overall seedbed quality and planter row unit ride quality, even with that high-speed, planter with hydraulic downforce and all the systems that we can incorporate. Where the seedbed measured poor by the field cultivator, row unit ride was also less than ideal. And as that field cultivator or that performance of the seedbed improved, so did row unit ride. And after the 2020 harvest, we took it to the final piece, so everything that you really want to correlate this to yield. We evaluated how the seedbed quality impacted yield, and the greatest grain yield was achieved where the good seedbed ride readings were seen by the planter, and higher planter row unit quality, of course, were detected. Every 2% increase in ride quality in this research yielded a 6 bushel per acre increase. Okay? So the study demonstrates how impactful seedbed preparation is to your grain yield and how important a smooth seedbed is to achieving consistent, accurate placement, and eventually, probably the most important, uniform emergence. If we were making those yield enhancing adjustments in the field, say that instead of just driving 9 miles an hour across the whole field, the field cultivator might have been adjusted down slower, or we made an adjustment to make sure the field cultivator was set correctly, we could bring an additional 2 bushel per acre. That's being conservative out of that 6 bushel. Just let's say we can get 2 out of it, if yield improvement, and say over 1,000 acres of corn that you have, that's 2,000 bushels, 2 semi-loads. And with $4 corn, again, being a bit conservative as of today, that's just $8,000, just like that. And by those numbers, AFS Soil Command, both seedbed sensing and control technology can pay off in a year.
Ride quality matters, doesn't it? I'm sure a tillage guy would have everybody know. The focus on agronomic design is nothing new at Case IH, and it really matters. It really seems to set you apart from the other folks out there in the field.
We try to, yes, for sure. And something I want all the viewers out there, to really take away from our conversation today is that, while considering all the new technology, and we certainly have introduced you to some new things today that you may have never considered, don't lose sight of those agronomic fundamentals. The technology is there to complement that and really bring that all, to a head, and ultimately contribute to rapid, more consistent emergence, and then of course yield.
Very good, Chris. Thank you so much for joining us on stage. We wish you and your neighbors, your family, a safe and productive growing season ahead.
You bet. And I wish everyone out there a safe and productive spring. And don't forget to have some fun out there while you're putting that crop in the ground.
All right. Take care, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Max.
Next, we'll introduce Kurt Coffey, Commercial Marketing and Communications with Case IH, for a very exciting announcement and a first look at new equipment.
Hello everyone, and thank you for joining today, and thank you Max and Chris. As Max said, I'm Kurt Coffey with Case IH Global Brand Marketing, and today you've seen how AFS Connect puts data at your fingertips to help you make better decisions on your operation. Just moments ago, Chris and Max talked about how you can make your planting and seeding season more productive with AFS Soil Command tillage technology. I'll tell you, I'm very proud to be part of an industry-leading company that puts thoughtful agronomic design into everything that we do. Case IH is truly leading the way in this noble industry with thoughtful, smart, and sustainable innovations and practices. But now, we're very excited to give you a glimpse of what's coming next. Case IH has a long history of superb design. Around the company, I call it our DNA. All across Case IH, we have been working to bring forward a cutting-edge, next-generation styling to our product that ties to our brand pedigree. As we look to the future, Case IH equipment will get a facelift, so to speak. Our equipment will have an updated look and technology features that align with our brand promise to you. A look that aligns with the Case IH brand promise of efficiency, of power, intelligence, progress, and connectivity. And today we're very proud to show you a sneak peek of that design inspiration, starting with the new AFS Connect Patriot sprayer. Here's the very first look. Pretty remarkable, isn't it? We are excited to formally launch this to the market later in 2021, but it doesn't stop with the sprayer. This new look and feel is all made possible by our producers' first approach. This has and always will continue to be a priority here at Case IH. Through our customer-driven product design process, or we call it CDPD, it's producers like you who serve as the inspiration behind every innovation, behind every new feature, and behind our equipment line. This process has been key to helping farmers increase productivity and profitability, and will be key to delivering solutions to make the operations of tomorrow more efficient, more sustainable. We're excited about this direction for Case IH. Please stay tuned this year for more information on our new AFS Connect sprayer. And now we'll bring Max Armstrong back on stage as we close out today's show. We have one more very special story for you today. Max?
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. What an exciting glimpse into the future of Case IH equipment.
It is, Max. And in this new direction, we see it joining in the lineup. It's inspired, as we say, and built by farmers.
Absolutely. Something that really is unique to Case IH. And thank you for that sneak peek. We can't wait to see what's next. By golly.
Thank you, Max.
Thank you. Well, now that we've heard about the latest equipment and have seen what Case IH is working on for the future of farming, I want to share with you a producer's story. I love good stories. And all across America in rural communities, over the past several months, there have been producers overcoming one challenge after another, really helping keep the world fueled in more ways than one. Farmers keep our country running day in and day out. Farming never stops, of course. The hashtag of the summer, of course, was still farming. Farmers were very proud of that. And there are these stories in every community. You know them, small town heroes who really make a difference. I want to share such a story with you about a producer by the name of Joel Clausen. Watch.
So we're centennial farmers. It's been over 150 years in my stepdad's family, and they've always been red. And it's because that's what they chose, and that's what they stuck with. They liked what they liked then. They like what they like now. So there's no need for them to change. So my hometown is 1,000 people. We are every country song that you could ever imagine. We are one stoplight. We have one gas station. We're very small. So I graduated with 29 other kids. FFA was huge. If you're not farming, somebody in your family is born and raised on a farm. So we're all farmers around us. And on November 1st, he brought us in after hours, and we knew that something wasn't going to be good because there was nobody else there, no other folks, and he basically brought us in and he just said, your son has crabapple disease. It is terminal, and he just told us there's nothing you can do. There's no treatments. There's no medicines. All you can do is just make your son comfortable. Bryce was diagnosed with pneumonia. So we went back to Peyton Manning Children's Hospital, and I said, okay, I'll take it this time. And it was crazy. So we had some of the same nurses, but we got a room that was just white walls. And, again, Bryce was, he's not able to talk. He's not able to do anything. And I just, had somebody come in and say, hey, anything we can do for you? What do you need? And I just said, I have a crazy question. Why is this room not decorated? And they said, just no one's ever sponsored it. And so I just said, that's it. I said, I want some more information on how I could do this. And, this will be Bryce's legacy. And so it was the oddest thing. It just, so many pieces fell into place. There was no other farm themed rooms. And so we immediately went into, that's what we're going to do. And it was, once we told the Peyton Manning Children's Hospital that's what we wanted to do, they were like, oh my gosh, we have so many ideas. And it is so funny. I specifically remember I said, I only have one thing. They have to be red tractors. And they all were kind of like, what's that mean? And I was like, no green tractors in this room, no green tractors. And they were like, okay, like, like kind of city folk, right? City folk don't know what I'm talking about. And so, they went to work, and, thankfully, my uncle Don Baker at Berkey's, I kind of thought, like, I wonder if he can donate some toys to the room, like, because they have some toys that go in the room, like in a display case. And I was like, I wonder if I could get some with that, or I wonder, do you guys have any old parts or something maybe we could use in the room? And so I had some ideas, and thankfully he knew somebody who knew somebody who knew somebody who kind of got it up the Case IH chain, and it got to the folks, and when they reached out, it was just like, it was really, I mean, I can't describe the feeling and, the effort that so many people put in to help us and to make this room possible.
Oh, my goodness, what a great story. Thank you, Joel, for your work and your dedication to such a great cause. Doesn't it make you feel proud to be a part of this tremendous industry with so many wonderful people all across America on our rural routes? This has been such a wonderful time that we've shared with you over the past few minutes, especially when we can't be there in person. We look forward to that opportunity to be able to see your smile one-on-one and to be able to exchange ideas and to learn more about the great Case IH line. Now we invite you to Case IH VX and to experience some of the equipment solutions that we've shown you over the past few minutes. Watch your emails to see if you've been the winner of a Case IH prize. On behalf of the Case IH team, thank you so much for joining us today for the Built for 2021 virtual event. We wish you a successful and by all means a safe growing season ahead.
As a farmer, half measures never measure up. You put in late nights and early mornings. There will be new challenges. So you adapt, learn, and endure. As a farmer, you put a part of you in everything you do, in what you plant, what you raise, and what you build. Case IH, built by farmers.